Welcome to Methods. After completing this lesson, you should be able to implement methods within Scala classes, describe evaluation order of methods versus fields in Scala, and outline how infix notation works inside of Scala. So what is a method? A method describes behavior within a class instance. They are something that can be called on to do work on the state that exists inside of a class. This is where transformations to this state can take place. Methods may or may not take parameters as inputs and may return a single value in response, if any. And they should specify their return type if one exists. This gives us more correctness at compile time and also allows for faster compilation, as the compiler doesn't have to figure out what subsequent usages of a value might do and whether or not operations on them are valid. If you specify types, the compiler can make those judgments quicker. So here's examples of a simple Scala method. First of all, we have the def method hello using the def keyword to specify that we are creating a method. And the hello method simply returns a hello string. In this case, we are using type inference because we are not specifying that hello returns a string and is merely inferred from the fact that we have a string that is returned from the hello method. However, another example is this method echo. Again, using the def keyword, echo takes a parameter, which is a string called message, and it returns a string explicitly. And we set that equal to the message that was passed in. In this case, we have a fully formed method that takes a value and returns another value, even though in this case, it's merely echoing the message that was passed in. So why use methods instead of fields if a method can look like a field? For example, in our method hello on the previous slide. Methods are evaluated every time they are called at the time they are called. So they are reevaluated the next time you call them again. Fields, on the other hand, are only evaluated at the time the class is constructed, and if immutable, only the first time. This gives you a balance between evaluation order. Methods are evaluated every time you call them. Fields are evaluated only when the class is constructed and one time. Scala also supports something called infix notation. Methods can be called on an instance of a class, and Scala permits those calls to be made with no dot or parentheses, but only if the method takes only one argument. This is flexible syntax that supports very powerful DSLs, domain-specific languages that allow you to abstract the way you want to describe a problem in source code. However, for readability, you should not use this feature. Let me show you what I mean. In the first example, we have a string, Martin Odersky, and we use dot notation to call the method split on that string. And we say to split that string using a space. This results in an array of strings of two values, the string Martin and the string Odersky, because we split the single string by a space. We could have called this in the exact same way, but without the dot and the parentheses, because the split method only takes one argument. We are treating the split method almost as though it is an operator, like a plus sign or a minus sign or multiplication. This syntax is very readable whenever you want to write domain-specific languages. For example, whenever you write tests using certain kinds of libraries. But even though it results in the same thing, it can be more difficult for new developers to Scala to understand syntax when they see no dots and no parens. We recommend that you stick with ordinary syntax using dots and parens so that there is no cognitive overhead for new people to your team. Having completed this lesson, you should be able to implement methods in Scala using the def keyword, describe the evaluation order of methods versus fields in Scala, and outline how infix notation works.